Well, hi, and welcome to Bible Basics, an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the Bible. And today I want to share with you my four favorite translations, and then I want to talk about a fifth one after that. One of them is the New Revised Standard Version. It's the Bible I used for a long time when I was studying and for the first 20 years of my ministry. It was written in 1989, and it is a word-for-word translation, which means that the original writers went back to the Greek and to the Hebrew, and the committee struggled to understand what the Hebrew word was, and then translated it into English, and the same thing with their Greek. And so what emerges is a word-for-word translation, which is very accurate, but can be difficult to understand. In fact, it's recommended for a 16-plus age group because of the level of reading difficulty. But it's a wonderful study Bible that I would highly recommend. The second Bible is the New International Version, and this is the New International Version 2011, the most recent version of the New International Version. And it's a little bit different from one that you would have had if it predated 2011. So I would recommend you get a 2011 version. This is the translation we use in worship on Sunday morning, and it is a meaning for meaning or thought for thought translation. And what that means is that the committee examined the Hebrew and the Greek and tried to find out and understand what the Hebrew sentence meant or the Greek sentence meant, and then it tried to find an equivalent sentence or phrase to say the same thing. So it's trying to convey meaning for meaning. And it's a wonderful study Bible. It's a wonderful Bible for reading in worship, and this is the one we use on Sunday mornings. Now, a third translation, which I absolutely love, and I usually recommend this translation for our Sunday school class or for our young adults or as just a devotional reading, something to read in the evening or in the morning when you want to understand a text. This is the New Living Translation. And the New Living Translation was translated in 1996, and it's just worded very well. And it gives you a rather accurate understanding, but it also gives you a different way of putting a sentence into words so that you might get an aha moment, an opportunity to see something in the text you might not have noticed in one of the other translations. So the New Living Translation is the one I would highly recommend for Sunday school classes, for private devotional and private devotional reading when you're not studying the text per se. And then my fourth translation is not really a translation, it's a paraphrase. And by paraphrase, I mean that it's an author who takes the Bible text and retells it or rewrites it in their own words to be more understandable. And this is what we have in the book The Message, written in 2002 by the scholar Eugene Peterson. And he has just a wonderful way of writing a biblical verse in a manner that gives it real significant meaning for today. And this is why I'll often use the Message or quote from the Message when I want to give you a different perspective of how the text can be understood. And so I would recommend the Message as well. So those are my four favorite translations. You will notice that I haven't mentioned probably the most popular translation, and that's the King James Version. And the reason I haven't included it in my top four favorites is because it's a rather old text. It was written in 1611, and the English that is used is the English from 1611, and is very difficult to understand. But on top of that, there has been a lot of scholarship, a lot of archaeological finds that have occurred in the last 400 years, and the insights that have been discovered from that are included in the modern translations of Scripture, but they're not included in the King James Version because those discoveries only occurred after it was written. So if you're looking for an an accurate translation that is probably closest to what the original text would have been, then the King James Version is probably not the translation you want to use. So there you have it, my top 4 and a few words on the King James Version. I hope this helps you gain a better understanding about the type of translations that are available, and I hope you'll get a couple for yourself as you seek to get to know God a little bit better through God's sacred word. Bye for now, and may God bless you in your worship this morning.